everybody, this is Patrick, and you're listening to Runway, the podcast for everyone living life's great adventure. Live recorder. It's on.
Exactly it. Well, let me dump my stuff.
Sure. Where do you want us to meet you?
Lobby. Let's start in the lobby.
That'll work.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me dump my stuff. I'll be right there.
Okay.
All right.
Hello.
I am so glad to see you.
I'm glad to be
Patrick.
here. Yeah. And you've met Corey?
Yes, I have. And Corey, hi. How are you? I have a card for you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
I always want to make sure you do that. Thank you for taking time out of your time to come over and see us.
Well, I want to ask you, just to begin with, I thought all these questions I was going to ask you. Show me your favorite thing, your favorite exhibit or your favorite part.
Boy. Well, I think one of my favorite places is the place we need to go first,
Okay.
which is our courtyard entrance.
All right.
So why don't you come on over and take a look. The root of the word of the museum is what, Patrick?
Muse.
Muse, exactly. From antiquity, there were the 9 muses.
Right.
And the museum is a place of introspection, inspiration. The 9 different muses.
Right.
And this is the place to be, right here in our courtyard entrance. And many times going from here to there, when I'm on my way to an appointment or on a meeting, I run into so many different families, guests that find themselves here, which is one of my favorite places, is our courtyard entrance.
So is this going to go into the fall and winter too? As much of this stays green?
This will continue blooming and looking this lush and beautiful well through November into December.
Cool.
It's really exciting. We get a lot of people that come for senior pictures, wedding pictures.
Any anglers? You got some fish down there.
Exactly. We get some anxious little kids who think that they can just get them, but these are very seasoned fish. They're used to that.
Is that koi?
Yes, we have some koi. We have some goldfish.
Okay.
So
they're not the same.
They're not the same. No, but it's a beautiful experience for them to have. One of the things, it's an unsung area of our museum that's so beautiful to do is our outside experience. They know about our giraffes and they know about our elephants, but there are landscaped areas, entrances around the building have been in a process for over 30-some years.
Wow.
And it's a healthy, mature area that is really it knocks your socks off. So I mentioned the wildlife garden. I wanted to share that with you.
Yeah.
And show you the other outdoor areas of places to go in this museum that sometimes get forgotten. Again, sometimes, especially in the summer, people complain about the heat, humidity. They just want to run inside. But especially on beautiful mornings like this, it's a great time to take a walk, clear the mind, see nature, and extend your visit to the museum by looking through all of our trails and our gardens that we have on the outside of the building. We'll go to the right. The sounds of the water bring you toward the wildlife garden and a nice arboretum opening leads you here into our wildlife garden with a fountain, lilies, some bamboo, another good place for contemplative reflection. This is being powered by a cistern coming off of the roof of the longleaf, or of the Natural History Museum's roof. And
So is it like gravity fed? So it's that's why it's higher in the, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, that's how, I didn't realize this, but you see all the old Victorian movies and there's fountains. Well, that's before electricity, and I didn't realize that it was all gravity fed. Either the fountain was lower than the water that was coming down, or they were doing something like a water wheel to get that to do that. Very cool.
This is another one of my favorite places. Lunch is eaten here.
Oh, you personally?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
People like to come on their lunch hour, read a book, walk through the garden, and experience what we have here. So this enters the Bird of Prey Trail. Again, done with help with a grant from the Legacy folks, with a nice framed entrance that sets you on your journey.
I got to tell you, as a museum visitor, like even as a kid, we went on vacation, we went to a museum. That was anywhere we went, we found the local museum. And I don't know why, but always from a young age, I was finding details, even if they weren't supposed to be seen. Like, so this gazebo.
Gazebo, yes.
I think it's fantastic that it's left exactly like this, and there's, I don't think, any plans to just take it down because it's getting aged. I love to look and see just the aging of it, but also like the construction of it. Like, okay, how was this put together? Did they use a handsaw? You know, what's been pecking at that?
Yes.
That's the kind of details I look for, even if it's inside, outside. That's what I think makes it extra special for me, is just those little extra things that a lot of people might overlook.
Yes, it is an organic experience. It's beautiful, and it sets you into the mindset of a natural experience as much as we can. So, again, this is the Bird of Prey Trail. We have open viewing enclosures of these particular different raptors that we care for.
Do you think that they don't behave the same in captivity like this because they're in contact with humans?
That is a great question, and one that I would hazard to guess at, and that would be a question for Dan, our curator, or perhaps Sarah Burke, who is our education director, both of which who are conveniently not with us.
But it's just amazing to be this close. You know, and I got to think that in the wild, they're not going to sit here and hang out just staring at me, even if it is behind a cage.
But it's such a wonderful opportunity for our guests to have this experience, to be able to look this closely, to see them, to see what makes them special.
Yeah.
How they do what they do and how they survive.
The other thing I like about museums, you know, again, as a kid, it was how fast can I get through this thing?
Yeah.
But as I've gotten older, it's okay, I'm going to take this exceptionally slow. If I go with kids, okay, I'm going to be rushed, but I like to get here or any museum just by myself and take it in like first gear. Just really stop, look around 360 degrees.
I think my experience was similar to yours.
Yeah.
I was the one that would pull at my mom's arm to say, let's go,
Right.
let's go do something else. But much like eating vegetables as a kid, after you get to be an adult and you mature a little bit, you find that you actually like them. But
Right, I think you appreciate the benefit of the things that you want to rush through as a kid, and that's why you're willing to spend a little more time with it, even if it is rutabaga or alfalfa sprouts.
Yeah. But again, having this interaction and this exposure, to be this close and to see them and to appreciate them, is an experience that is so unique, and it's something that we museums can uniquely give. It's one of those things that makes you most proud and happy of what you're able to do to provide the community on a daily basis.
So what's the state of museums? Like, are they on the increase? Are they on the decline? Society's changing. Everything's digital. Everything's got to be immediate. Are people going to museums as much as they used to?
Oh, yes, they are.
Good.
Museums have exploded, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
The numbers, the diversity, the types of museums, all have exploded. One of the things I like to give in my presentations to Rotary clubs or community or service clubs is a question about the number of people who do visit museums.
Mm-hmm.
And I invite people to guess as to the number of people that go to amusement parks, theme parks, so your Disneys, your Six Flags, Busch Gardens, okay? Think of that number. And then add to that number all the people that go to every professional sports.
Okay, yeah, I'm with you. That's a lot.
Okay, so Major League Football, baseball, basketball, okay? Throw them in with all the people that go to all the theme parks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what kind of number would that be, Patrick?
A big number.
Big number.
Millions of people.
Millions
That's
of people.
A safe guess, right?
Yes. Yeah, it's around 450 million people.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, in another pot, let's put the number of people that attend museums. Okay. How many people are in that pot?
Could I say double? Safely double that?
Patrick, you win the award.
I won the award?
850
All right,
million.
that's close enough.
Yeah, so double.
Yeah.
The number of people that go to the museums are doubling the number of people that go to theme parks, all the professional sports
Yeah.
activities.
My problem is I don't watch sports, so as an entertainment format, You know, I can come here and be infinitely more amused here than I could anywhere else. Yes. Don't tell anybody that's a football fan, but I just don't watch football. It's not entertaining where I can come here, you know, and pay a whole lot less than a ticket price,
right,
and really have a much better time. For me.
That's right. It's all in what people are looking for.
Right.
But yes, it is amazing how many museum experiences people do value.
Yeah.
And we have not quite 850 million people coming to the Anniston Museum of Natural History.
Not quite. That would be everybody in America twice a year.
That's it. But we do what we can do,
yeah.
and we present the stories of the natural history of not only of Alabama but of the world.
Yeah.
And we're very proud of doing that.
Very cool.
Now, we can never compete with your Disneys and your Busch Gardens and such that wow you with the lights, the lasers, the motion sensors, and they will have a staff of hundreds of people that are just on the technology side keeping it up to speed. We can't outdo them where that's concerned.
Sure.
We don't have the budget for it, you know.
Nor should you try. It's not the same. It's not the same experience.
Exactly. In some people's minds, though, you know, we are competing with that same dollar. I could go to
sure.
Disney, or I could do this. And thankfully, with this, you can go here 10, 18 times over.
Sure.
So, no, our job is to inform, educate, and engage you in a museum setting. So we will do. We do that very, very well.
So now you are pretty recent to this museum.
Yes, I've been here in October. It will be 2 years.
Okay, where were you at before? What museum were you with then?
I was with the Customs House Museum in Clarksville, Tennessee.
Okay.
Which was a general interest museum. It had science, art, history, children's hands-on interaction. Around 50,000 square feet in an urban setting.
Okay.
And it was a regional museum, nothing like it between Nashville and Paducah, maybe. So it got a lot of regional attention as being the cultural center of north central Tennessee. It's a great place.
Cool. Very cool. Yeah. Now I find myself now as I'm traveling almost anywhere, keeping an eye out for museums of any kind.
Yes.
And I'm much more likely to stop at random than I ever had been.
Yes, I'm glad you do, and I do the same thing, because to know an area is to go to their museum and find out why they're there,
Right.
why they were important, and what that area says about themselves through their displays, exhibits at that particular museum.
See, this again, I like it. Just interrupts the entire interview, but I just love like the stacked stone, and I guess I don't know what branch of science, sociology, or museumology would, I guess it'd be sociology, just like who built this, how were they trained?
That was inside staff.
Was it really? So I mean, just like, it's amazing just to look at all the details that go into this, and I could come back 10, 20 times and still catch something
I wish
different.
I could take credit for it.
Are you not a stonemason?
No, that's right. Yeah, that one preceded me by a few years.
Okay.
So we can do that. Now, I don't know if you want to go the rest of the trails, or if you'd like to go inside and see some of the things that we have.
Let's go see a few things inside.
Okay.
So this is the first official video episode of the series I'm doing, and
Excellent.
we're going left or right.
Depends if you want to go in the front door or the side door.
I'm your guest. It does not matter to me.
Let's go through the front door.
Okay.
So I mentioned some of the things that we're excited about doing. One of the things is giving our lobby a presentation to it, and we'll be working on that coming this fall and the winter. Hopefully we will open it up for the public come springtime.
That's great.
And this is Miss Linda. Say
Hello.
hi to Miss Linda. She's
Hi.
awesome. So this starts your official presentation into our gallery spaces for your trip through the Natural History Museum. 8 major sections that are shown, from Dynamic Earth, Alabama Sand and Cedars, Nature Space, Defense, the Birds of the Americas, the Environments of Africa, Ancient Egypt, and then finally our Changing Exhibit Gallery, which is currently running Live Salty from shore to ocean floor. Yes, and little things, you know, when people come through, so many times they have to see the museum 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times.
Yeah.
We have people that worked here for multiple years, decades, and they say, I didn't even see that. I'm still seeing things that I've never seen before. So this is one of our recent updates. In the last 5 years, this gallery was created with the diorama of the Stegosaurus and its environs in the corners. And this has been very, very well received, as well as some of the other pieces.
That petrified log down there.
Log, some of the other casts of the skeleton head.
Now this is incredible to me. This one vertebrae.
One vertebrae in the Brachiosaurus. Yes.
That's incredible.
Yeah. It's and so many times these things can be lost and not appreciated unless you take your time. In the museum world, there is a saying about there are 3 types of visitors to the museum. There are the sprinters,
Right.
there are the strollers, and then there are the studiers.
Okay. I'm a 2/3. I graduated from a 1 when I was about 12, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I've seen them all. I've worked at museums where I sold a ticket, and 15 minutes later they said, thanks.
Wow.
See ya. I had a great time.
Yeah.
And you say, really? You had to actually sprint to
Yeah.
get through all of our halls.
Wow.
Within 15 minutes. And then you have people who waltz around like they're watching TV, and they're just changing channels until they see something that catches their fancy. And then there are the third types, and I'm guilty of that, where I pretty much study pretty much everything. And those are the types that we encourage, of course. Being a accredited museum with the AAM brings with it a lot of other associations that are not available to other museums, which we take advantage of. We are an affiliate with the Smithsonian, and as such, they are very happy to lend things in their collection to other affiliated museums. And we have a very large collection of minerals and rocks of different types here on display. Again, easy to run by, but we really encourage people to say, take a look, you know, take a closer look.
Almost nothing here are you going to see in your everyday life.
No, you won't. And to really appreciate them takes time.
And then to know what you're looking at. Oh, that's a pretty rock. Okay, on its surface, yeah, but how was it formed? Where was it found?
Yes. And how did it get its color? One of the most striking areas is our Alabama cave, as we tell the story, the local story of how Alabama was formed. A very dedicated group of people came together to form this cave, which was one of the first things done when this building was constructed.
Yeah, from a craftsman standpoint, this is not easy to do. This whole structure is incredible. I don't even know. It's like a plaster.
Yes, plaster of Paris.
And you've even got
fiberglass.
Got water running down here?
It is water.
That's great.
Yes, we have a whole water system to replicate the sounds and the action of water in a cave. The flow stone is, like you've correctly seen, is absolutely beautiful with the pools that will drip. Now, of course, we lit it for, you know, for egress. You know, we are not a real cave.
Right.
So we want people not to trip over, but if you turned out all the lights, this would sound like a cave.
Yeah.
And the other thing that I really like about the cave is once you're in the cave, all the other ambient sounds of our museum fall away, and then you're left with the oral. We've had people that are spelunkers that come in and say, this is incredible.
Yeah.
What you've been able to achieve is just remarkable.
It's like the Soto Caverns. You've been down there?
Not yet.
You've got to check it out.
My list of things that I have to do in this area is still very long. And there's little touches. Can you see the snake?
I can. I don't like snakes, so I saw it right away. And it's crazy that a snake can but you know, cling to a surface like that.
Well, if you don't like snakes, we have some more snakes for you not to like.
That's fantastic. Yeah, I'm looking forward to not seeing the snakes.
So the presentation of Sandus takes us from, obviously, from the coast all the way up through the mountainous region of the northern part of the state. One of the fun factoids is that Alabama does have the distinction of being the fourth most diverse ecology of all of the states.
Is that right? Wow, I didn't realize that.
There, I think California, Texas, Virginia are ahead of us.
Wow.
But when you look at all the things that we have here, from
the coast
to the mountains,
right.
We have just about every type of ecosystem on the planet. And so we tell that story here, and we tell Alabama's story. Don't let it rain on you.
No.
I hope you brought your umbrella.
I did not, but there's enough to stand under that I'm okay.
Well, pretty soon the dawn will come and the lights will come back.
Yeah.
There we go.
Nice. I didn't even catch that. I've been through here several times. I never realized that it did that. And I love a good map, too. If there's a map, I'm almost always going to stop and look at it. Cartography is just interesting to me.
Yes, and we hit you with the very first one, where we talk about the different plateaus, the coastal plain, and where we all stand, where the Piedmont Range, the ridge and the valley, the Appalachian, and then the low plateau. So, yes, we want people to get a sense of where you are in comparison to the rest of the region. So we talk about the river system. Here's another map. You love your maps.
I'm going to tell you about this map.
Okay. Tell me about
I don't work here, but let me tell you about this. Let me tell you why this map is important to me. Okay. I'm building this stand-up paddleboard, right? Out of plastic bottles. And it is my goal eventually to travel these rivers somehow one day. So I'm thinking, okay, we're around here. Where can I go from and to? I could theoretically go from, you know, here to the Gulf. Not that I'm planning on it, but just the map. It grabbed me. This map, not so much the big, what was that, garfish? Not so much the garfish. The map got me.
Well, I would suggest the Coosa River, because you could start way up here. We're here.
Right.
We can start here. You can make your way down the river and make your way down to
that would be awesome. I would have to do a lot of logistical planning on that one, but that would be just fantastic.
There is, when I was at the museum in Clarksville, there was a gentleman who never was in a canoe before. He lived in Nashville, and he lived on this little creek called the Harpeth Creek. And he was a photographer, and he decided, he looked at it one day and said, this water runs all the way down to New Orleans.
This is from Tennessee?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he made it his summer project to get in his canoe, going to the Harpeth River, and make his way down to New Orleans.
Wow.
And he did it.
Wow.
Not only did he do it, the next year he finished he went up to Minnesota and completed the rest of the Mississippi River.
Okay, wow.
So he went from the Harpeth to the
the other one.
Yeah, the other one. All the way to the Ohio to the Mississippi River.
Wow.
And he says a few times some of those barge people saved his life.
Wow.
He had to navigate through some of the locks and channels through the Cumberland River.
Okay, okay.
Sorry.
We'll edit that in.
Please do.
It'll be awkward, but we'll do that.
From the Harpeth to the Cumberland to the Ohio to the Mississippi River. And all along the way, he took photographs of the people interacting with the river, the people who worked on the river, and he said it was a life-changing experience. He said, at the start of it, I thought maybe I could film while I'm in the boat, but he says, I totally underestimated the power of the river. He says, when I was in that boat in the middle of the river, I had to pay attention to that channel every minute of the day. The only times that he could really photograph is when he was on the shoreline.
Wow.
But he wrote a book called The River Inside. It's a photographic coffee table book that I highly recommend. I'll get you the author. I think it's Gilder, James Gilder. Anyway, he came and spoke at the museum.
Very cool.
And it sounds a lot like your idea.
I have big ideas, and then there's reality, and I usually find something that's compatible with both.
That's right. Well, try to do one that makes sure that you come home that night.
Yes, of course, of course. Hey, look, another snake.
There's more snakes. Oh, they'll start to actually move here in a minute. So the latest and greatest exhibit is the Arctic exhibit, where we show the polar bear and the caribou that are on display that you see in front of you. Again, this was created with in-house staff, and we feature the buttons of hearing from the animals.
Tell you something else I like to do. Maybe this is unique, but probably not. Anywhere that there's an exhibit this large, as silly as this may sound, I will try to pretend that I'm standing there, like on the ice. Obviously, this is not moving or whatnot, but just to feel the cold and just to see the leaves moving with the breeze that's not there.
Yes.
It's kind of transportive.
Yes, it's we call an immersive experience. We want you to feel yourself in that experience.
Right. Okay. So I'm experiencing what the intent is then.
That's exactly right. Yes. And you can't do that when you sprint through the galleries. So
no.
That is a very, very important quality of the studier.
Now, this is also one of my favorites. I came to really appreciate birds. Several years ago, there was I think it was a robin that had built a nest on that little junction box on the side of your house with the meter. And something had happened and a bird was on the ground. One of the babies was on the ground. So we took it to the, where was it? Oak Mountain State Park rehab facility, and they saved it, and I just started seeing birds all over the yard, and I would get binoculars, and I got a field guide. And it's kind of weird how I missed it for so many years. Birds, you hear them, yeah. But now, any and all bird, I really am drawn to.
You're attuned to them.
I'm attuned to, right, I am. So this particular exhibit, I really like to spend time in.
Yes, well, this is the hub and the core of what started this museum back in the 1920s, 30s. Because Mr. Riegar and Werner came from Pennsylvania with the Woodstock Iron Works.
Okay.
And that's how they came to Alabama. And they both collected birds. Not only did they collect birds, they created the dioramas that you will see in this gallery.
I didn't realize that.
So not only are the birds as old as they are, but the dioramas and the cases that house them were produced by them.
Wow. Okay, so those are quite old too then.
They are quite old. So we are treating the whole case as a historical artifact.
Wow.
And because of the length of time, they started collecting in the 1870s, 1880s. So they have some samples of specimens that are extinct or very, very much endangered.
Wow.
And we'll show those to you.
Yeah.
So that's why the graphics all kind of harken to that feel of the later 19th century to do honor to the original birders as well as the fabricators of the cabinetry. So our extinct and our endangered birds are right around this corner. And what I understand from Dan is that this ivory-billed woodpecker with its clutch of eggs is a study that only us and one other museum have in North America. And it is a precious thing, and there's a lot of bird people that will come to see just this case.
This one?
That one.
Wow.
Yes. Lighting. You have a 10% better.
Okay. Which puts us at probably about 7 minutes.
All right. Do you want to rush through the rest?
Yeah. I'll tell you what, we could spend like 3 more hours looking at everything.
Yeah.
I think
you want to hit, you want to do the mummies, you want to do the Live Salty, maybe finish in the temporary exhibit gallery.
Let's do the Live Salty one real quick.
Okay.
And as a matter of fact, yeah, we could do this until lunchtime, you know what I mean? But I want to...
We'll go this way. Oh, I know. And see, you know, we haven't even... There's so much that we haven't touched on.
And I will do a voiceover.
Great.
You know, saying that we looked at a lot more and da-da-da. And...
Alan's fastball topped out at 88. So he had to find himself another line of work. You know, you could put something in there like that.
Okay. Hey, did you actually play ball?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I did. If it had a ball and a whistle and chalk lines, I played it. I did just about everything. Of course, you know, you got to hit the. You know, everyone knows about the elephant and the giraffe.
Yeah.
The baobab tree is amazing. Done by volunteers.
That's amazing.
A lot of local people put this together, and we had people who lived in natives of Africa that were over here on a visit, and they saw it and they said, "We have never seen anyone get our tree as well as you got our tree."
Wow.
You know, they said, "That's like home." He says, "That's exactly what it looks like." He says, that's home.
That's awesome.
You know, it's interesting, the kids will say, kids are great. You know, the kids are so honest and they're so open. And the number one question is, are these real? You know, it's like, well, what do you mean by real?
Right.
You know, yes, these animals live. You're really looking at this item. It's not a figment of your imagination. But that's the number one question. Are these real? So Live Salty is a temporary exhibit that we built because we had a wonderful shell collection from a donor in Montgomery, Alabama that donated his life's effort of collecting shells from all over the world's oceans. And we had this area that said, we need to have a new temporary exhibit in this space. And we said, let's do the shell and talk about the world's oceans. So what we did is we took the opportunity to make an immersive experience where you're in the water and you can look through the graphics and read about all the world's different oceans, how they're different. One of the things that we do wrong when you're a kid and you're coloring and you're going to color the ocean, you grab the blue crayon.
Right.
And so I think intrinsically we just think, okay, water's blue, it's all the same. No, they're not all the same. Each of these oceans have different depths. They have different salinity. There's different animals that live in different parts of the ocean. And we tell that story here. So as kids grow and they mature, we have to tell that story.
Right.
The Indian Ocean is totally different than the Pacific Ocean versus the Atlantic Ocean versus the Arctic. And so we do that, and we do that with our graphics here. We augment it with our mounted specimens from those oceans of those areas. The shells are in the middle. And then we have our own sea saltwater tank with living rock, with
coral.
Yes, living coral. When we opened this exhibit, those whatever those things were, just very, very small. So it needs a haircut. But the animals all interact. It's a living, breathing biosphere in there. And everybody loves the experience. Again, we do the immersive. We show the lights. We show the audio. We put you in that experience of living under the water and around the water, both on the shore and the sounds inside the ocean.
That is awesome.
Yeah, it's a really, really great exhibit, and we're very, very pleased to have it. Not only do we talk about the fish and the different mammals that live in the water, we talk about the shorebirds and the Audubon prints of the shorebirds that we have out of our collection. We put on display here. All of these Audubon prints come from our collection. There's many, many more beyond what we are showing here. And in the cases at the end of the zigzag hall, we have shorebirds. My personal favorite story to tell in this is the albatross, and talking about how an albatross can fly for hundreds of miles without flapping its wings once. And much like a sailboat, all he needs is the prevailing wind.
Yeah.
And he can go this way, he can go that way, and this graphic shows it as best, to describe how they can maneuver that way without expending much energy. And we happen to have one in our collection. Again, thank you, Mr. Regar and Mr. Werner. How many times do you get to be this close to an American bald eagle?
Not many.
And this isn't the only one in our collection. We have a few others that we zoom by in our sprinting through the galleries. But our nation's bird.
Yeah.
Outside of photography, how close are you going to be able to see the feathers and the beak and the majesty that bird is?
Yeah. Alan, thank you very, very much. I have enjoyed this. I am absolutely going to be coming back. You pointed out several things I didn't even mention that I want to come back and just kind of dive in a little bit more on. Just
love to have you.
So we have a whole other museum associated with this one. Which one is that?
The Berman Museum.
The Berman Museum. What types of things are in there?
The Berman Museum is the basis of it is a collection of Farley and Germaine Berman art, a lot of armaments, weaponry that they collected from antiquity through pretty much World War II. And it's a fascinating collection. and as well as we have other collections of Asian art and history as well.
I love that. I went there once and I thought, you know, we were with the kids, so I thought I'm going to have to come back and do this a little bit slower.
Yes.
Yeah, so definitely.
So it's the second element of our campus here, and we're very, very pleased with it, and we're happy to have you and come back
awesome.
to talk about the Berman.
Thanks, Alan.
Thank you very
Okay,
much, Pat.
have a great day.
You bet.
Thanks.
Bye.
All right, that's it.
Never gonna give up, never gonna give up on you. And I never gonna grow up, never gonna grow up. I don't try. My heart beats faster before I ask her, and I can't tell you why. There's a breeze. Where's it gonna blow now? Where's it gonna blow now? Tell me, please. What's on your mind? Do you really love me? Do you really love me? Draw that line. The hibernation leads to frustration, and I can't tell you. I can't tell you. I can't tell you why. Oh my love, don't be far away, my love. Oh my love, don't be far away, my love. Just stay right here. 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 Just stay right here.
All right, awesome.
Much variety with the shots as I could.
1%. How do you feel about it? Pretty
I think
good?
it looks really good.
Good.
It's really good. A lot
Awesome.
of the walking shots have a lot of the motion is really stable.
Yeah.
And it'll go good like if you have a little.
Yeah.